Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. This is teacher Ashley Hale with Level Up English. In our lesson today, we are going to focus on 30 top business phrases that you can use to conquer the business world. Are you ready? Great. Before we begin, don't forget to get your notebooks ready to take down lots of notes. If you are not yet a subscriber, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on my channel. Have you subscribed? Great, let's get started. Get down to business. This phrase is used when it is time to seriously start focusing on work that needs to be done. Let's use it in a sentence. We need to complete this contract, so it's time to get down to business. Since day one. This is another way of saying since the beginning. It often refers to the first day a project or a business began. Let's use it in a sentence. We can say, Sam has been working at the company since day one. Learn the ropes. This is used when someone needs to learn the basics of how something is done. Let's use it in a sentence. We can say, the new employee needs to learn the ropes as soon as possible. Bring to the table. This phrase is used when we are talking about someone that needs to bring something useful to a job or a business. Let's practice it in a sentence. We can say, the new employee needs to bring new clients to the table. Learning curve. A learning curve speaks about the progress that someone has made in order to gain experience or new skills. Let's use learning curve in a sentence. We can say, she experienced a learning curve as she worked towards the management position. Get off the ground. This means to start something after much planning and discussion. Let's use it in a sentence. We can say, she was finally able to get her new business venture off the ground. On a shoestring. This means to work with a very tight budget or to work with very little money. Let's try this phrase in a sentence. We can say, I love to do projects on a shoestring as I think it is a great challenge. From the ground up. This is referring to building something from nothing. It means to start a business or a job from the absolute bottom. Let's use this in a sentence. We can say, my mother built her business from the ground up. Behind the scenes. When we are talking about behind the scenes, we are talking about doing something away from the public eye or doing something privately. Let's practice this phrase in a sentence. We can say, I worked on my business behind the scenes to ensure that it would be a success. Touch base. To touch base means to get in touch with someone or to get in contact with someone. Let's practice touch base in a sentence. I want to touch base with my old boss to see what he is doing. The 11th hour. To do something at the 11th hour means to do something at the very last minute. Let's practice the 11th hour in a sentence. We can say, I am careful not to leave my work until the 11th hour. This means that I am careful not to leave my work until the very last minute. By the book. This means to do something strictly according to the rules or according to the policies or laws. Let's use by the book in a sentence. We can say, my manager insists on doing the work by the book. Run around in circles. This means to do something without achieving any real results. Let's use this in a sentence. We can say, our new campaign had us running around in circles. Cut corners. To cut corners means to take shortcuts and use the cheapest and quickest way of doing things. Let's use this in a sentence. We can say, I had to cut corners in order to stay within my budget. Bottom line. The bottom line is to see the total profit or to see the total loss. Let's use bottom line in a sentence. We can say, my boss is only interested in the bottom line. In a nutshell. In a nutshell is another way of saying in summary. Let's try it in a sentence. We can say, in a nutshell, the meeting went well today. However, they do want us to make some changes to the business proposal. 50-50. This means to divide something equally so that both parties have a 50% share. Let's use 50-50 in a sentence. We can say, I will divide my new business venture 50-50. The big picture. This means to have an overall look at something and not pay attention to the finer details. Let's practice this in a sentence. We can say, I had to consider the big picture before I gave my approval for the new campaign. Long shot. Something that has a small chance of succeeding but is not impossible. Let's use long shot in a sentence. We can say, applying for the job was a long shot, but I do hope that I will get an interview. Back to square one. Back to square one means to start over. Let's use this in a sentence. We can say, the client was very unhappy with our proposal, so now it's back to square one. Back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board is very similar to back to square one, except when we go back to the drawing board, it doesn't mean that we will start from scratch, meaning that we won't start from the very beginning. We might go back to a specific idea and begin from there. Go down the drain. When one's effort, work, or money is lost. Let's use go down the drain in a sentence. We can say, I need to study hard for my exam or all my hard work during the semester will go down the drain. Gray area. A gray area is used to describe a situation that is not certain or clear. You cannot tell right from wrong in a gray area. Let's use gray area in a sentence. We can say, the new contract had no gray areas. Go the extra mile. This means to do more than what is expected. Let's use this in a sentence. We can say, many of my employees go the extra mile to ensure the success of the company. Reach out. To reach out means to get in contact with someone that you are usually not familiar with. Let's use reach out in a sentence. We can say, I will reach out to Susan in HR to find out more about my work contract. At the end of the day. This is not actually referring to the time of the day, but is rather another way of saying when you take everything into consideration. Let's use it in a sentence. At the end of the day, I am sure that I made the right decision for myself. Cut to the chase. To cut to the chase means to get to the point of what you are saying without wasting any time. Let's make a sentence. We can say, I need to cut to the chase because I am in a hurry. Get the ball rolling. This means to get started on something. Example, I need to get the ball rolling on my job applications. This means I need to get started on my job applications. Streamline. To streamline means to simplify a process and avoid any unnecessary work. Let's use streamline in a sentence. We can say, the accounting department is working on streamlining their accounting process. Call it a day. We use the phrase call it a day when we decide to stop working for the day or when we have completed our work for the day. Let's use it in a sentence. After learning 30 new business English phrases, we will now call it a day. And that's a wrap on our 30 business English phrases for the day. I hope you learned lots of new phrases and how to use them too. I look forward to hearing stories about how you use the business English phrases in your offices and work environments. Feel free to drop me a comment letting me know how it's gone and which is your favorite phrase that you have learned today. This is teacher Ashley Hale from Level Up English signing out. Thank you and see you next time. Bye!